Okay, so I have some complaints about taxation that I want to share. I'm not an accountant or am I got any kind of PhD in economics or anything like that, but there's some things about taxation that just bug me, and I want to get it out there, and I want to see if anybody else agrees with me. One thing about taxation rules, and it almost seems to be universally applied, is that it is a percentage of what you make. Now, to make that clear, us just say that you make $50,000 a year and they tax you at 20%. So that means that you're going to be paying $10,000 in taxes. Okay, but if you make then a raise on that, okay, so if they're still taxing you at 20%, they get a raise. The raise is automatic for them. Government always gets their money. You know, it's not like all of a sudden, they put a cap on any of this. In the end, you get a raise, they get a raise. Now, here's the problem. Here's where it doesn't make sense. I want to live by three rules in my life. First of all, does it make sense? Is it logical? Right? If it doesn't make sense, right, I don't think you should apply it. You should ever apply it. Now, here's a point. Does it make sense to buy a $10 million machine to make a toothpick? And it makes one toothpick per minute. That doesn't make sense. Of course it doesn't make sense. You're never going to get your money out of it. Another example is if you buy a Coke plant or something, a Coca-Cola soda plant, and you sell a soda for $25 a can. Do you think that's going to take off? I would say no. Even if you cornered the market, even if you somehow were able to cancel all other soda pop sales and all you had was your soda pop, I don't think you're going to be able to sell it for 25 bucks. I can't. There's no way. How can that, it doesn't make sense. I mean, maybe it's going to be an elitist thing. We're going to be kind of like, show off the Mr. Joneses or the Joneses next door kind of thing. But I mean, I don't think it's going to sell very much to common people. Nobody's going to afford $25 for a can of pop. Well, that should apply to things like taxation. To me, it makes no sense because in the long run, the taxation is just going to continuously eat away at people's income. And that is what is the driving force behind economics. If you have a thriving middle class, you have a thriving economic situation. There's no doubt that you're going to be better off with a growing middle class than a shrinking middle class. That's just common sense, That's where the majority of your economic growth is going to come from, is from that particular group. All right, so you have these people, and they, for example, get a raise of $1. They make let's say they make $10 an hour, and they get a raise of $1. That's a very generous raise, right? That's a 10% raise. But if you go back to the 20% taxation, right? That $1 an hour is not going to be $1 in your pocket, right? It's going to be $1 overall, but then 60 cents in your pocket, and I'm sorry, 80 cents in your pocket and 20 cents in the government's pocket, right? They get their raise no matter what, even before they add new taxes. Now that is like 20% is the minimum personal tax. There was the group that pay no tax, that hardly make anything, right? But the minimum tax, I think, in Canada is I think 18 or 20% or something like that. And then you get these graduated increases as you make more money. So eventually you're up in like the 30% tax bracket, right? Now, the funny thing is, when you're in a 30% tax bracket, you're considered, according to government, rich. You make the top dollar where the highest taxation occurs. So they consider you one of the wealthy, one of the well-off. And I can tell you, when you're in that high tax bracket, I don't know if you're that well off. So you got this increase of $1, right? I mean, somebody's paying you an increase of $1, right? it's not coming out of nowhere. Somebody's actually got to say, hey, we're going to pay you that increase. We're going to have to charge our products accordingly. Whatever that dollar costed us in labor costs, we're going to have to increase the price of the goods, right? So let's say the dollar comes up because, you multiply it around and around, and maybe there's a delay, but eventually that dollar is going to make its way back into the product costs. All right. So now whatever you buy costs that dollar extra, right? So you make $10 an hour, you go out and you buy a hammer, right, for $10. Now that hammer is going to cost $11. But remember, you lost 20 cents on that dollar that you made. So now you're 20 cents in the hole. You're better off if you didn't get the raise. And the price of the hammer did not go up. This is the part that I'm having problems with. And this is, like I said, this is before they add any new taxes. And this is before value added tax, which again is a tax on the value of the product you're buying. Well, if the value of the product you're buying is going up, right, then the cost of that thing is also going up. So that hammer, if you're going to add 20% value added tax, here in Canada it's HST, and it's 13%. I don't want to do the numbers for 13%, it's just weird, but I'm going to do the 20%, right? So now it's 20% at $11. So that is $1.10 in taxes, right? Am I right on that? I think I am. No, actually it's more. It's $2.20 in taxes. So it went from, say, $2 in taxes when it was $10 for that hammer, now to $2.20. So in two different ways, taxation is robbing you of your wealth even before you add new taxes in, just by the fact that it's a percentage, and it's percentage based on your income and a percentage based on what you can buy. Anyway, and then I mean, here's the other problem. Do we know that this taxation is going to cause problems? I refer to the situation that's happening in France right now with Macron, and he's never mind about him. But let's just move forward into the solutions that he offered, the crumbs, as they call it, that he offered to the people, right? Which, in actual fact, are pretty good. He actually said that he will not tax overtime. And I think, wow, what a wonderful idea. Not to tax overtime. That's actually a really good idea. You could have led with that kind of fairness in the labor. You could have led that in your campaign. You could have said that to the people of France is, hey, the overtime, we won't tax you. Because that's extra money over the regular pay, and you want to pay down bills. You want to get things for your family. You want to be able to buy the extras. That's great. Go out and work. I mean, there might be some side disadvantages to having free overtime, like for the workers. But I mean, in overall, for the people who want to work, and the money that they earn, they keep more of. That's perfect. What's wrong with that? But why didn't he lead? He had that idea. And it's not that hard to come up with that kind of idea. But why didn't he go ahead and lead with that? Why did he wait until he's almost overthrown before he had that? And it's a good idea. He could, like I said, that could have been one of his campaign promises, and that would have worked. That, amongst other things, would have worked. Should he have slashed the taxes on the rich? I don't think so. I mean, if you're going to slash taxes, slash it across the board. Make it fair for everybody. Anyway, that's my thoughts on taxation. Like I said, it's not from an economic. I'm not an accountant. It's just something that I've observed over time, and I just wanted to share it out there. So there it is. Tell me what you think, and if you want to subscribe and all that other stuff, go right ahead. All right? And you have yourself a good day. We'll talk to you later.